Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So let's talk about self-sabotage. Let's talk about the defeated mentality. A mentality of defeat. Do you have one? You might. A lot of people do. It's incredibly common. We've all had defeats in our lives. Losses. Shit that has not gone our way. We've lost jobs, been fired, lost opportunities, lost deals, been beaten down. We've lost love, been dumped. There's all kinds of defeats. I mean, I could list 100 different forms of defeat. You know what you have been defeated in life. And I'm kind of referring to the big stuff, the stuff that really kicks you in the nuts, that pushes you down and laughs at you. The stuff that really makes you feel bad, where you look at it and you're just like, damn. We have losses. It's important to have good coping skills. We're always going to be dealt blows, just like a fighter. No boxer goes into a match expecting to not get hit. Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, every good fighter gets hit. But it's how you deal with those blows is the difference between a good fighter and a bad fighter. This is an issue that I've kind of dealt with a lot in my life, is the defeated mentality. I didn't realize that I was operating through life with a defeated mentality. I really didn't. I couldn't pinpoint or identify the problem. I just knew that some things didn't work out for me. Habitually, perpetually. Relationships are kind of one of them. I've had a hard time in relationships. Money is another one. I've had a hard time with career paths, with success. Now, it's all kind of relative because I could look at my own life compared to somebody else's, which you never want to do, and say, well, look, I've had some success compared to this guy. The only thing that's good about that is to be able to identify your own successes in life. Everybody has defeats. Everybody. But everybody has successes also, even if they're small. I talk to a lot of people, and I've never met a person ever who hasn't had at least one success in their life. I'm not talking about winning the lottery. You may not have met your dream girl. You may not make 8 figures. But you've had something good happen to you, and it's good to be able to identify those, to take an inventory of the good shit in our lives in order to be able to show ourselves that we can accomplish shit. You know, how you do something, how you do one thing, even if it's small, is how you do anything. So you can look at your minor successes that you've had. Write them down if you need to. What are all the things that you've been successful at, that you've worked hard towards and that has worked out for you? It could be something small, but look how you accomplished that. It didn't just drop out of the sky into your lap. You had to scratch for it, claw for it, go after it repeatedly, be determined, persistent. That's how you can accomplish anything in your life. The defeated mentality is a real bitch, man. It really can suck because it can go on for years. It's a self-worth issue when it comes down to it. I mean, it's a fear-based emotion. We can go through the ringer with relationships. That's a common one. People get defeated. I've talked to a lot of guys who've been defeated with relationships, and they've either just never had a relationship, or maybe that they've had a few or had a great one that they thought was great and it went sour and they got dumped hard, run over like a Mack truck, really hurt their feelings, ripped their heart out, threw it against the wall, slid down onto the floor, and then it was stepped on after that. I mean, a lot of us have been there. I've been there. And it all goes back to coping skills. Instead of being able to learn a lesson from that and to kind of laugh it off with a little bit of humility and humor and to move on in life, move forward in life, some of us stay stuck. I mean, think about how you react to defeat. A lot of people will retract into their little hole, self-isolate. Tell themselves, well, I'll never do that kind of shit no more. We get traumatized. The way to beat the defeated mentality is through the same type of progress that we use when we exercise, when you go to the gym. If you work out, I suggest everybody who watches my videos to get on a workout program. You can learn a lot about life through exercise. You can learn a lot about yourself through exercise, what you're capable of, and what it takes in order to achieve goals. It may take you 20 years to get into the kind of physical shape that you want. But what else do you have to do? I mean, this is what life is about. You go out to the gym 6 days a week, and little by little, incrementally, just little steps by little steps. It doesn't just take 3 weeks at the gym and you're just like, well, fuck yeah, you know, I'm ready for the Olympics. It takes a lot of hard work. And sometimes you don't really see the progress very much, but you know that as long as I go, I'm moving forward. I'm getting stronger. And you may notice it in little bits where you realize, wow, I'm actually able to push this weight. I noticed it today. It was leg day. I was doing squats. I put on an extra plate. That was a big step for me. And I realized the last time I worked out that it was too light. I could do this. I could do this fine without getting fatigued. So this time, instead of going through a weak workout, and that's what a weak workout is one that you get used to, I decided I'm going to push this shit up. It's time to move forward. And that means you put more stress on, you put more struggle on. And I've learned that in the gym, is being able to meet struggle head on with the intention of getting stronger. Struggle makes you stronger. But then when we have emotional blows, where we feel defeated in life, we get our feelings hurt, someone walks all over us, betrays us, feels like we've had repeated blows, like crashing waves upon a wall. And just no matter how hard we try, we're always drowning in that water. Fucking itch on my back, goddamn. I need a back scratcher. We get slowly stronger through getting out of our comfort zone, through incremental steps in a direction that may feel a little bit scary. Identify what your weaknesses are. Identify the areas that you feel that you've been defeated in. Is it love? Is it money? There's many others. Those are the two most popular. That's why I mention those. Those are ones that I've gone through. That's why I mention it also. And start taking steps to come out of your cave. You can just take a little step at first, and that way if anything scary happens, you can run back in. But you have to be able to poke your head out at some point. You have to be able to change your intentions. You may be sending mixed signals to the universe. You may be sending a signal to the universe that says, I don't want this. Even though that you pray for it every single night. Please, Lord, I wish that I could have a relationship. Please, Lord, I wish I could finally make some money and get over this hump on my life and be able to finally afford just to pay my bills and to be stable. Please, please, please. People pray for this shit every single Sunday at church. They pray for it every single day of their lives and then send mixed signals to the goddamn universe as if they don't really want it. I run into these people sometimes and I give suggestions, and you can always tell when a person starts shooting down your suggestions, oh, that'll never work for me, and they get into this loser mode where they're embracing their inner loser. Get rid of that shit. Kill your inner loser. You wonder why the next guy has a good life and you don't? Because that motherfucker's taking the risks and the chances in order to be able to get it. And if he gets hurt, if he gets knocked back down, he can cope with that shit. You wonder why the next guy may have a beautiful wife and you don't have any? Why someone else you know is going forward with their career, making tons of money, and you're not making nothing. You're working at a fast food place. You're on welfare. You can't even get a job. You wonder why this happens? It's because you're sabotaging yourself. You're not doing what it takes in order to get there. And you're sending the wrong signals out into the universe. When you start to believe in yourself, things start happening for you. That's the first step. Scratch that. That's the second step. The first step is identifying that there's a problem. Identifying that I've been operating with a defeated mentality. That's step number one. Admit it. Realize this. And that's the liberation. Step two is to be able to start sending the intention out to the universe. You haven't even left your goddamn house yet. All you've done is admit that you have a problem and then say, I'm going to solve this. I'm going to get over this. I'm going to do this no matter what it takes. Even if it's scary, even if it means I fail again. Don't be afraid of failure. Successful people aren't afraid of failure. Some people are afraid of success. And that's a real issue. I should make a whole video about that. People who are afraid of success. That's a real syndrome. It's like being thirsty, but refusing a drink of water as you're dying in the desert. You have to be able to send the right messages out there, not only just to the universe, but to yourself. And when you start to believe in yourself, things start happening for you. Muhammad Ali used to talk about back when he started boxing as a teenager. He wasn't good. He was terrible. Everybody starts off terrible. Nobody's born with talent. You have to practice. There's no such thing as talent. There's only such thing as practice. But he acted and believed that he was the greatest of all time. Even when he sucked, even when he's getting his face smashed in, he's getting knocked out with one punch by better boxers. He's still a kid. He's still trying to learn the craft, and he's not good at it. But in his mind, he believed he was the greatest of all time. And he kept that mentality as he trained. And every time he was dealt a defeat, he realized this is a learning opportunity. And he coped with that shit and moved forward. So don't let those waves break you down. The waves of life. There's going to be choppy waters. We have to learn how to sail. We have to learn how to cope with suffering. It's not something you can just snap out of and say, well, okay, I realize I have a defeated mentality. Bam, like turning a light switch off. There you go, done. Now I'm successful. Now I can do everything I wanted. It takes incremental steps. But realizing this shit is the first step. Tell me what you think. What ways are you living in a defeated mentality? What defeats have you had in your life? And what ways did you get over that stuff so you can thrive? I'd be interested to find out. Thanks for watching.